Mosaic. Thank you so much for joining us for another Mosaic at Home stream. We love when you guys come and hang out with us on a Sunday night. So thank you for being here. Before we continue on with the rest of our stream, we have another game coming your way tonight. And this week we've got worship or love song. I mean, if we're being honest, the lyrics of most worship songs and love songs are basically interchangeable. So here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna read a lyric and you guys are gonna comment down below and let us know, is this a worship song or a love song? Is this a song that I would sing to my savior or my significant other? Let us know what you think. Comment down below. Make sure you participate. I cannot wait to see what you have to say. We are joined by 3 really special guests this week. I can't wait to introduce them to you. So Mosaic, are you ready? Worship or love song? Let's do this. Hey Mosaic, we are joined tonight by 3 of our super talented, incredibly lovely Mosaic worship leaders. We've got Courtney, Alyssa, and Emily joining us tonight. Thank you ladies for being here. We are excited to have you.
Woohoo! Thanks for having us.
Yes, it's going to be fun. So here's the deal. We're playing worship or love song today. So knowing that, I have a rapid fire question for each one of you. So just, I'll ask you the question and just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. So Courtney, you are getting the first question. What is the greatest love song of all time, in your opinion?
I don't know, something by Celine Dion, maybe?
Oh,
what a nice little French accent you had just
yeah,
then.
that was good. That was good. Yeah, Celine sings. Yeah, she sings some pretty good love songs.
Yeah,
okay.
The Power of Love.
Yeah, the power. Yeah, My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's got a whole album full of good ones.
Okay, Alyssa, you're next. If you could only lead one worship song for the rest of your life, which one would you pick?
Oh, this is a hard one.
Only one.
Oh, I feel like I get so sick of songs too. Like this is. I have a worship song cancellation list. Like literally, like ones that I will never lead again.
That's amazing.
Okay, I'll just go with You Keep On Getting Better because that's what I always sing every single time.
Honestly, I was like, that's the song Alyssa's gonna pick. I knew it. It's such a good song. That is a good song. I would sing that for the rest of my life. Okay, Emily, you are next. Emily, would you rather sing a love song to your savior or a worship song to your significant other?
God, I don't have a significant other. So I don't know.
Hypothetically speaking.
I'd probably do love song for my savior. Because like with the whole like biblical meaning of like I'm his bride and whatever, so I feel like it would
so deep.
I know, so I feel like it would kind of transfer a bit there.
It would transfer better. Yeah. All right, team, are you ready to play worship or love song?
I'm ready.
All right, Mosaic, are you ready to play along? Comment down below, let us know what you think. Let us know, is this a worship song? Is this a love song? Who knows? Let's get going. All right. Number 1, here is the lyric. For I am yours and you are mine. Is this a worship song or a love song?
Worship song.
It's a worship song.
Oceans?
Yes, Oceans by Hillsong. We started easy. Okay, number 2. This one is pretty easy too, I think. The lyric is, how deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? Is this a worship song or a love song?
Love song, yeah.
Yeah, love song.
How deep is your love?
Yes,
I don't know what it's called.
Calvin Harris. It's called How Deep Is Your Love? And
okay.
All right, number 3. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning. Worship song or love song?
That's a love song.
Yeah, that's a love song.
Yeah, you are right. It is a love song. What love song is it? Do you know?
Isn't that All of Me by John Legend?
Yes, that's a John Legend song. You're my end and my beginning. I mean, that could easily translate into a Mosaic worship set, just saying. True. Okay, number 4. We're going to get a little bit harder here now as we go. Here's the lyric. Ready? The colors of the morning are inside your eyes.
Love song. Oh, no, worship song. Worship song.
Worship song? Okay, yeah. Courtney says worship song. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna go with Courtney and say worship.
Okay.
I'm gonna go love song just to be
different. Alyssa says love song. Mosaic, what do you think? The colors of the morning are inside your eyes. It is a worship song. I did not know this. I would not have thought you. Yes, it's You're Beautiful by Phil Wickham.
Oh.
But something very easily sung to a significant other. I feel like that's something you could write on a Valentine's Day card or something, but
Definitely.
Next year.
next year.
Next year.
Yes, Jacob,
Saving
you
that
know
one.
what's coming your way. Okay, number 5. Ready? I was lost in a moment, a glimmer in time. Worship song or love song? Mosaic, let us know. Comment down below.
I'm gonna say love song.
Love song, okay.
I'm going to say worship song.
Worship song, okay.
Maybe?
Alyssa, you're the tiebreaker.
I don't know. Okay, I'll go worship song.
Worship song. This is a worship song. I was lost in a moment, a glimmer in time. This is called Glimmer in the Dust by Hillsong.
I felt like it was a
Whatever.
super artsy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. A Glimmer in Time. Glimmer in the Dust by Hillsong. Check it out. Number 6. Ready? You became the light on the dark side of me. Is this a worship song or a love song?
I'm going to say love song.
Love song? Okay. You became the light on the dark side of me.
I'm gonna say love.
Love.
Yeah, I'm going love song for this one.
Love song. You guys are right. This is a love song. Do you know what song this is? This is like a throwback. A throwback song. This is the song Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Oh.
You know that song?
Yeah, I know that song, but I would never like know it from that lyric.
It's a jam.
It is a jam.
On the dark side of me. Kiss from a Rose by Seal. If
Amazing.
you haven't heard it, give it a listen. Okay, number 7. The lyric goes, nothing on earth is as beautiful as you.
Oh God.
That's touching. Mosaic, let us know. Is this
That's
a
a
worship
deep
song or a
love
love song?
It is,
Mm.
man.
Nothing on earth is as beautiful as you.
I'm going to go worship song.
Me
Worship
too.
song? Okay, worship song.
There's no way anyone would write that about their significant other.
It's not realistic.
I'm reading a lot into it and I'm literally breaking down the lyrics, so I'm gonna say worship as well.
Okay. It is a worship song. It's the song Beautiful One. Do you guys remember that song? It's also a throwback. Beautiful
Yeah,
One by Tim Hughes.
A big throwback.
Nothing on earth is as beautiful as you. Okay, number 8. I can see your heart in everything you say.
Oh, worship song.
Oh, okay.
I know it, so I don't know what song, but I know that lyric, so I'm gonna say worship.
Okay. Okay. Alyssa?
Worship.
Man, you guys are way too good at this game. I should not have picked worship leaders. That is a worship song. Do you know what worship song that is?
So will I.
Yes, so will I. I would not have gotten that
There's
at
like
all.
million
I
lyrics.
can see your heart and everything you say. I mean, there's like literally a bajillion lyrics in that song.
Yeah.
So I would not have remembered that particular lyric. But yes, it is a worship song. Number 9. Here's the lyric. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. Wow.
Oh my God.
I feel like I've heard this lyric before too.
I'm going love song.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say love song as well.
Okay.
I'll say
Deepest,
worship.
darkest.
Why not?
You're going to say worship?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
the light
wrong.
in my deepest, darkest hour. This is a love song. This song is by the Bee Gees. It's How Deep Is Your Love?
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But you know what? Like this, again, this song could easily be sung at Mosaic.
That's a spicy lyric. Yeah.
Lyric number 10. All right, ready? Lay back against you and breathe. Feel your heartbeat.
Worship.
Worship song.
Worship.
This is a worship song. Like what? All right, we've got one more. So Mosaic, let us know what you think. All right, are you guys ready for this one? This is the last one. Here we go.
Ready.
It's so cold out here in your wilderness. I want you to be my keeper.
Ooh.
It's so cold out here in your wilderness. I want you to be my keeper. Love, Rebecca.
I'm gonna say
if that
love
puts it into
song.
context. Love song? Okay.
I don't know.
I'm going worship.
Yep. Okay.
I'm leaning towards worship.
Worship.
So I'm gonna say worship.
All right, it's 2 against 1. Mosaic, what do you think? Let us know. Worship song, love song. It's so cold out here in your wilderness. I want you to be my keeper. This is a love song. It's Water Under the Bridge by the queen herself, Adele. So basically what I'm hearing you say is that like you'd be okay with Adele songs in your worship sets.
I have no problem with that.
I like it. I think that's how we should kick off the first in-person service when we're back. Rolling in the deep.
Yeah.
Fun.
I'm messaging the worship leaders now.
Perfect. Make sure you guys show up to that Mosaic. You will not want to miss out. This has been very enlightening on so many levels for me. I mean, wild and wonderful. Worship song or love song? Who knows? Could be either. Thank you guys so much for playing worship song or love song with us tonight. Thank you, Mosaic, for participating. We love you guys. We miss you guys. We hope that we'll see you soon with an Adele jam to kick us all off and enjoy the rest of Mosaic at Home.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Mosaic at Home. Thank you so much for joining us and worshiping with us this evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Claire, and I'm super excited to share some announcements with you this evening. First of all, our small groups are ongoing, so they meet Monday nights, and the girls meet at 7:30, and the guys meet at 7. And if you're looking for more information on that, you can send us an email at mosaiccampuschurch@gmail.com, and we'll definitely get that information to you. And also on March 14th, we have our Big Give coming up. So if you value Mosaic and you'd like to give back to help us with our operating costs, you can send us an e-transfer at mosaiccampuschurch@gmail.com. And if you have any questions about that, you can contact Pastor Steve. So once again, thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy worship this evening.
Hi guys, welcome to Mosaic. My name is Sarah and this is Josh. We're just going to get into some worship, so feel free to worship however you'd like. Let's get going. When darkness tries to roll over my bones, when sorrow comes to steal the joy I own, when brokenness and pain is all I know, I won't be shaken. I won't be shaken. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. Shame no longer has a place to hide, and I am not a captive to the lies. I'm not afraid to leave my past behind. I won't be shaken. Yes, I won't be shaken. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. There's power that can break off every chain. There's power that can empty out a grave. There's resurrection power that can save. There's power in your name. Power in your name. There's power that can break off every chain. There's power that can empty out a grave. There's resurrection power that can save. There's power in your name. Power in your name. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My Psalm 121, 1 and 2 says, I lift my eyes up to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. The next song we're going to sing is called Highlands, and we've sung it a few times at Mosaic before, but I just really love it because it just talks about praising God in the highlands and the lowlands, which means praising Him when things are going really good and praising Him when things are really going not good. And I don't know about you guys, but this past lockdown has been very difficult, and anxieties and sadness is definitely present, and sometimes it can feel hard to worship and praise God when things feel like that, but that is even more like of a time to praise Him, because that's when you can have the deepest connection with God. That's when He wants to meet you, when you need Him the most and when you're at your lowest. So as we sing this next song, just think about that and think about how you just want Jesus to know that you love Him even when things aren't going okay, because He is always working things together for our good.
Oh, how high would I climb mountains if the mountains were where you hide? Oh, how far I'd scale the valleys if you grace the other side. Oh, how long have I chased rivers from lowly seas to where they rise, against the rush of grace descending from the source of its supply. 'Cause in the highlands and the heartache, you're neither more or less inclined. I will search and stop at nothing. You're just not that hard to find. 'Cause I will praise you on the mountain, and I will praise you when the mountain's in my way. You're the summit where my feet are. So I will praise you in the valleys all the same. No less God within the shadows, and no less faithful when the night leads me astray. 'Cause you're the heaven where my heart is. In the highlands and the heartache all the same. Oh, whoa. Oh, how far beneath your glory does your kindness extend the path, from where your feet rest on the shoreline to where you sweep the sinners past. And oh, how fast would you come running if just to shadow me through the night, trace my steps through all my failures, and walk me out the other side. For who could dare ascend that mountain, that valley hill called Calvary, but for the one we're called Good Shepherd, who like a lamb was slain for me. Oh, so I will praise you on the mountain, and I will praise you when the mountain's in my way. You're the summit where my feet are. So I will praise you in the valleys all the same. No less God within the shadows, and no less faithful when the night leads me astray. 'Cause you're the heaven where my heart is. In the highlands and the heartache all the same. Whoa, whoa.
shadows. My song of ascent, my song of ascent. Whoa, whoa. My song of ascent. Whoa, whoa. And from the gravest of all valleys come the pastures we call grace, a mighty river flowing upwards from a deep but empty grave. So I'll praise you on the mountain, and I'll praise you when the mountain's in my way. You're the summit where my feet are. So I will praise you in the valleys all the same. No less God within the shadows, and no less faithful when the night leads me astray. You're the heaven where my heart is, in the highlands and the heartache all the same. Like the rushing wind, would you breathe within my heart? And through the raging storm, would you hold me in your arms? 'Cause I need you. How I need you. I need your love like I need water, and I need your love like I need breath inside of my lungs, burning my heart just like a fire. Come and take me over, Jesus, draw me closer to your heart. Through the wind and rain, I can hear you call my name. And when the nights get rough, I will still sing out your praise. 'Cause I need you. How I need you. Yes, I need you. I need your love like I need water. I need your love like I need breath inside of my lungs, burning my heart just like a fire. Come and take me over, Jesus, draw me closer to your heart. Closer than my every breath, closer than my every step, closer than the song I sing, closer than anything, closer than my every breath, closer than my every step, closer than the song I sing, closer than anything. I need your love like I need water. quench like a fire. Come and take me over. Jesus, draw me closer to your heart. So Jesus, I thank you that you desire for us to be close to you, and that when we get to know you more, you put in us the desire to be closer to you. I pray that you would just help us to continue thirst after that. I thank you that we can be together to worship, even though it might not be physically right now. I thank you that your presence is not limited to that you can be with us and connect us wherever we are. I pray that you would just speak to us through this word we're going to hear now, and just keep us safe until we're back together. We love you. Amen.
Hey everybody, I hope you're enjoying our stream this evening. Thank you so much for checking out Mosaic at Home. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Steve Grimes, and I get to be the pastor at Mosaic, and it is the biggest honor and privilege. Mosaic is the best place to be on a Sunday night when we can be together in person, but it's also the best place to be on this stream. So thank you so much. If you'd like to know more about us, who we are, what we value, all of these things, feel free to reach out to us through our social media platforms. You can email us at mosaiccampuschurch@gmail.com, and we would love just to get to know you a little bit more, maybe answer any questions you have about Mosaic, but we would love for you to be a part of the Mosaic family. One thing I just want to highlight again this week, I know we talked about it in the announcements earlier, but I want to highlight this again this week before we get into our talk tonight. Our Mosaic Big Give, which is happening on Sunday, March 14th. Every semester we try to have a Mosaic Big Give Sunday, which basically gives people who maybe you've been attending Mosaic for a while, or maybe it's for the first time, but you value what Mosaic means in your life and the experiences you've had through Mosaic, and you want to give back towards it. Or maybe through the blessings that God has given you in life, you want to kind of give back to Him for the blessings that He has given you. We like to take this time for a Mosaic Big Gift to give people opportunity to give in this way. And so you can do that financially through e-transfer to mosaiccampuschurch@gmail.com. And all of this money, or whatever these donations are, all of this goes back into the operating costs of Mosaic. And we mentioned it last week, so some of our outreach initiatives, our Love Your Campus or Mosaic Cares initiatives that we do, like dropping off team burgers, when we were able to do things in person. We used to do water stations at the breezeway, these kinds of things, or even just equipment for live streams or for in-person services, whatever that may be, and even gifts for like benevolent reasons for people when they're going through kind of a hard time. So if you want to give towards Mosaic in that way, I challenge you to do so through our Mosaic Big Give. We would love for you to be a partner and support of Mosaic in that way. If you have any comments, questions, concerns about any of that, again, feel free to reach out to me. You can email mosaiccampuschurch@gmail.com, and I'll make sure I get back to you through that. Or you can message me on Facebook as well, if that works for you. Tonight we are continuing our series called Same Story, New Look. It's been awesome so far. We've looked at some great stories, and what we've been doing, in case this is your first time joining us, we've been looking at kind of classic Sunday school stories that people may have heard if you grew up in church your whole life. And for those who grew up in church, you can name off 5 like right away of, oh yeah, like I heard these 100 times over and over. And what we've been doing is in Sunday school, when we kind of, if you heard these stories, we kind of got like a bit of a base level. I mean, we're all kids. We don't get really in depth in Sunday school. It just gives us this really great foundation into teachings in the Bible. And so what we've been doing is re-looking at those stories and kind of, I don't know if repurposing is the word, but looking at them in a new light, given the life stages that we're in now, whether it's post-secondary or graduate studies, or maybe you're working in a career right now. We've just been looking at them in a new way, a fresh perspective, and seeing what we can gain from them for our lives today. And so today we are looking at the story of Joseph. And I'm going to get into the whole story of who Joseph is, kind of explain it to give you a little bit of an abbreviated version of the story, but you can read it all starting in Genesis 37. Genesis is the very first book of the Bible, so you can find it there. You can read all of Joseph's story there, but I'll give you a bit of a quick version of it. But the passage I want to focus in on tonight that is going to be our main focus on Joseph's life in particular is starting at verse 5. And so it may not make a whole lot of sense, but it will. I'll explain it after. But it says this, Genesis 37, verse 5. It says, one night Joseph had a dream, and when he told his brothers about it, they hated him more than ever. Starting off on a high note here. He says, listen to this dream. We were out in the field tying up bundles of grain. Suddenly my bundle stood up, and your bundles all gathered around and bowed low before mine. What a trippy dream. And his brothers responded kind of accordingly. They say, so you think you will be our king, do you? Do you actually think that you will reign over us? And they hated him all the more because of his dreams and the way that he talked about them. Soon Joseph had another dream, and again he told his brothers about it. Listen, I have had another dream, he said. The sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed low before me. This time he told the dream to his father as well to his brothers. But his father scolded him. What kind of dream is that? He asked. Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow to the ground before you, Joseph? But while his brothers were jealous of Joseph, his father wondered what these dreams meant. So Joseph is the son of a man named Jacob, which is a name that's highly, kind of really popular within Old Testament kind of language, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so Joseph is the son of Jacob, who had many sons. And Joseph is, at this point in our story, he's 17 years old. So he's just a teenager, a wee lad. He's, kind of finishing high school, about to head out into his post-secondary journey. The world is ahead of him. He got so much that he can do and experience and see. And if you put yourself back into 17, you kind of think, at that point in life, you think you know everything. You've had some life experience, junior high school was tough. You're kind of on the end of that. You're heading into either university, college, or maybe you're going right into work. So, you're like a real person. You're contributing to society, you feel. So you feel like you kind of got it all together a little bit. And so Joseph had this kind of feeling that made him a little bit of like a snot-nosed teenager. He was just extremely arrogant. But Joseph was favored by his father Jacob. Out of all of Jacob's sons, he favored Joseph the most, which is already like a no, Jacob. You don't have a favorite child, even though I know I'm my parents' favorite child. It's just a written rule or unwritten rule that you don't have a favorite child. But Joseph was favored by his father Jacob, and his brothers despised him because of it. But the other thing is, Joseph also was a snitch. So if his brothers were up to anything that was wrong, the Bible, I think, talks about in the story that they did things that were borderline evil, anything that was kind of out of the ordinary, not within the direction of their father, Joseph would take that information, that experience, and then go tell his father Jacob. He was a true tattletale. Now Joseph, this made his brothers hate him all the more. Joseph then one day has a dream given to him by God, and he feels like he needs to share it to his brothers. And his dream is that he's out with his brothers gathering grain, and they are putting it into bundles. And in the dream, his bundle stands up, trippy dream, his bundle stands up, and then all the bundles of his brothers actually bow before his bundle. And this kind of signifies that he will rule over them, or he has some kind of authority over him. These brothers already hate him. This dream is not going to help his case. And they look at him and say, what do you think you're actually going to be our king? That you're going to have some kind of rule over us? You're ridiculous, Joseph. This just makes us not like you even more. Joseph has another dream. And this time he decides to tell his dream to his brothers and his father. And the dream is that the sun and moon, and I think it says 11 stars, bow before Joseph. Again, crazy dream. He tells his brothers, his father, and his father, it says, scolded him. He was extremely upset. This would not have been a normal case in this day. And even today, the respect of a father, there's no way that a father would ever bow before a son. This just doesn't make sense. And Jacob says to Joseph, hey, do you actually think that me and your mother one day will bow before you? And Joseph's like, yeah, well, this is my dream, And Jacob, he kind of scolds Joseph, but he leaves kind of wondering what this dream actually means. Fast forward through a little bit of their life, and the brothers are out tending to the flocks that the family has. And Jacob says, hey, I'm going to send you out to see your brothers to see if they need help. And Joseph's like, I'm ready, I'll go. and so he goes to see his brothers. When the brothers see him coming, they at this point, these two dreams, he's a snitch to them. This has just kind of reached its end point where they're like, we got to take care of this guy, and so they plot to kill him. Very extreme, I know, but they just really hated their brother Joseph. But one brother, Reuben, picks up for them and says, hey, let's not kill him here. Like, let's not get drastic. Yes, he deserves some kind of punishment, some kind of consequence for the way he acts, but, let's not kill him. And so the story goes that they threw him in this, pit, I believe is a well, and they take a coat that his father gave him, Jacob gave him. Again, Joseph is his favorite son, gives him this fancy, robe coat thing, and they take it and dip it in blood to make it seem like Joseph has died. And instead of leaving him in that well, they actually sell him to traders who are walking by and sell him into slavery. And Joseph is supposed to be never to be seen again. They go back to their father, show him the robe that's all bloody. His father's extremely upset that his favorite son has now died, so he thinks. And Joseph's gone to Egypt to be in slavery. And throughout, you can read this story, and I encourage you to continue to go through it. I think it goes right up to chapter about 39 or 40. But Joseph's life, he goes through a lot of ups and downs. He ends up in prison at one point, but he kind of discerns what these dreams that Pharaoh had means, and so that gets him out of jail, and he ends up in this place of power. But later on, as time would go on, there was this extreme famine that would hit their area. And Egypt has stored up a whole bunch of grain so that they wouldn't be harmed in this famine. And Joseph is key in making sure that they store up this grain, and he kind of oversees that whole operation. His brothers, his family are in the middle of this famine, and their father sends these brothers to Egypt and says, hey, go see if you can get some grain for us so that we can survive this famine. They go to Egypt. They are there before Joseph. They actually bow before him. And Joseph kind of saves the day for them, where he ends up being able to have them come to Egypt. He gives them grain, enough food that they can eat, and all of this. But his dreams come to be true. And Joseph seems to turn out to be this hero, where in the midst of this family dysfunction, he actually saves the day in the midst of this famine. And even today, we talk about Joseph in this high kind of heroic light where, he's this kind of savior to his family. We don't have a whole lot of, disregard for Joseph. He's seen as almost like a superhero. But when I read the beginnings of Joseph's story, when he's this teenager, I really have a hard time thinking about Joseph as a hero. He was actually very arrogant. He was extremely cocky, and he was a massive tattletale. And he was obviously chosen by God to do something great, and God used him by giving him these two dreams. But he consistently rubbed his brothers the wrong way. He communicated all of these things to them, interacted with them in a way that constantly made them hate him even more than they already did. And it was almost as if it was calculated, and he tried to. There's one of the dreams where it says to them, it says after he told them the second dream, or the first dream, it says, and they hated him all the more because of his dreams and the way he talked about them. So I don't think Joseph went up with these dreams to his brothers and said, hey, God would say this to us. We need to have a conversation about this. We need to figure out what this means. To me, I take this as in Joseph went up to him and said, hey, I'm your younger brother. I'm favored by our father. I'm all that and a bag of chips. And God has told me that all of you are going to bow before me. So why don't we do that right here, right now? It's this really arrogant way of communicating what God has told him and kind of chosen him to be. And so we always, in Sunday school, we look at the story of Joseph, and I always remember Joseph as being this hero where he saved the day for his family. Yes, he went through all of these like roller coasters of experience where he was sold into slavery, he was put into jail, but then he oversaw this huge operation in Egypt, and then he was able to provide food for his family. And we see Joseph as this hero kind of character. But now as I read this story, I'm like, no, Joseph was actually extremely arrogant. He actually didn't handle himself very well. And yes, granted, he's a teenager, and if we think about ourselves back when we were 17, I'm sure there's things that we wish we had said differently or hadn't said at all. But still, it kind of gives us this new light and a different perspective on who Joseph is. And the challenge I want us to all kind of take in is that, we may not be in these scenarios where, our family hates us or our brothers, want to kind of cast us out or anything like that. But we have all been given, if you're a follower of Jesus, we've all been given this beautiful gift of the gospel. A message of hope for everybody on earth. Of Jesus, a king who came, lived on earth, dwelled with humanity, experienced what it meant to be human and in human form here on this earth, but also fully God at the same time. And because we are so in this state with our sin and couldn't have this genuine relationship with God, where there's this barrier of sin between us and God, Jesus sacrificed himself, a God, king, sacrificed himself so we could have a genuine relationship with God. And even today, when we accept who Jesus is and we ask for forgiveness of the wrongs that we have in our life or the sin that's in our life, he frees us from that sin and we can experience what a true, genuine relationship with God is. That's a beautiful message, an amazing gift of freedom that we've been given and asked to share to people around us. My question that I want us to kind of do some self-reflection on is, how are we serving that message? I look at Joseph and he definitely was heroic. He definitely came through in the end for his family. But I wonder if he would have kind of reevaluated how he handled especially these two dreams and his early relationship with his brothers. Would he have done it differently? The messages that God has given him, would he have served them in a different way? Because the way he did it was extremely arrogant. It didn't sit well with the brothers. And instead of encouraging them, giving them hope, a sense of freedom in God, it actually made them hate Joseph more, gave them resentment, envy, all of these things, anger, to the point where they plot to kill him. And I wonder if Joseph served it in a different way. If he communicated these dreams, these messages in a different way, and if he even acted around his brothers in a different way where, yes, he may have saw them doing wrong things, but instead of, saying it in a way where he's being a tattletale to his father, but actually kind of sits down his brothers in a healthy conversation, or even with his father, and they work this out, would his relationship with his brothers and would this whole scenario that he went through in his early life been different if he had just served the messages differently? And for us, as many of us are followers of Jesus, we have this beautiful message of who Jesus is that we've been called and challenged to share with people around us. And you know what? In our history of the church, we haven't served that message very well. There's been moments where we've served it in a way that hasn't helped people kind of digest it in a very easy, clear and loving way. And my challenge is, maybe we need to kind of, refocus ourselves. Take, the story of Joseph and how, yes, he was a hero, but he probably could have done something different. How could we be different in the beautiful message of Jesus that we have? How could we be different in sharing it with others? Maybe we're so excited about it, we believe in it so much that we're almost forceful in communicating it to people, or maybe we kind of have it in our heads that if what we believe in is the only way, then we kind of need to make sure that everybody is on that way, and that ends up with an aggressive approach that people kind of put their backs up and their guards up to. And so how can we share this in a more communicating, loving, and kind way? And when we look at the way of Jesus, he did the same thing. You know, he heard people out. He experienced or took in the experiences that they were having. He kind of heard the pain and the hurt that they were feeling, but he communicated the most amazing message of grace and truth in a most loving way as well. So for us, just like Joseph, we've been given this beautiful message that we can communicate to people around us. But how are we best serving that to the ones that are around us? Is it in a way that's really hard for them to hear? Or maybe for some of you, sharing that message isn't a priority and you kind of need to self-evaluate what that means for your life. Maybe you need to figure out how you could best communicate the messages of Jesus well and practically what that looks like for you. But my challenge, my hope with this story of Joseph is that we kind of do a self-evaluation of how we communicate the message of Jesus, and is there a better way that we can do that? And there's an analogy that I want to share with you as I close that I think will kind of make this whole thing make a little bit more sense. It's an analogy that Rebecca uses quite often that she heard from a pastor or a talk that she heard. But the analogy goes like this. So say in the future, when Lennon wants breakfast, my daughter Lennon, when she wants breakfast, she asks me to make her toast. And so I make her toast, but for whatever reason, maybe, I don't know, I put the timer on the toaster up too high or forgot that it was in there, that the toast comes out burnt. You know, I love my daughter, and I know that burnt toast tastes nasty. You know, it's hard to digest. I know there's a few people out there that love burnt toast, but, you know, just think about it as if you don't like burnt toast. But, you know, burnt toast, it's really hard, it's crunchy, it's hard to digest, it doesn't taste all that well. I love my daughter, and I'm not going to serve her burnt toast. So I'm going to put the new slices of bread in the toaster and redo it all over again and make sure that it's served in a way that's easy for her to eat and easy for her to digest. The way we communicate who Jesus is can often come out sometimes like burnt toast. And unfortunately, I hear more stories of people serving the message of Jesus in a burnt toast-like way, more so than something in a way that's easy for people to digest. And whether it's innocent, where we just, we're so fired up about who Jesus is, that we just want to share with whoever we can, and sometimes that comes out in a wrong and hard way for people to take in. Or maybe, we've just kind of been, we kind of want our agenda shared more so than what people are feeling. We don't give people the time to respond or think about it. But sometimes we can serve the message of Jesus that's all about grace, that is so truthful and meant to be shared in a loving way. But sometimes we can share it in a way that's really hard for people to digest, like burnt toast. So my challenge for you is, how can we serve this in a way that's easy for people to take in? People come from so many different experiences. There's people who have experiences in church that were really harmful, hurtful, that have caused them to kind of turn away from church. Maybe there's people who have no idea about who Jesus is, what a Bible is, what a church-like experience is, so we need to really break things down for them. But for people who have been hurt by the church, we need to take that into consideration and go at their pace, listen to their hurt, listen to their pain, and respond in a loving way, and shows who Jesus is as a loving Father. And so that's my challenge for us, as we take in this story of Joseph and how he served burnt toast to his brothers with these dreams. How can we take the message of Jesus and serve it in a truly loving and beautiful way? Because when we can grasp that, and when we make that a priority, that's when we see true life change in people. The experience that we've had that's transformed so many of us, of how Jesus has been so beautiful to our lives. When we can find a way to serve that in a beautiful way for other people so that they can handle it in a beautiful and peaceful and amazing way, then Jesus has such an amazing avenue to transform that person. So take some time tonight, tomorrow, and think about where you're at with this. Are you on this kind of side where you're like, I need to dial this back a bit, I need to change my language, I need to respect the experience that this person has gone through, and kind of figure out a better way of approaching how I share who Jesus is. Or maybe you're at this point where sharing Jesus is not a priority, and you need to figure out why that is and what works for you to practically share who Jesus is to those around you. But we have an incredible gift, as I said, a beautiful message to share with others that is life transforming. And so we need to take all priority that we can to figure out how to best communicate to those around us. And because that is so important and can lead to some life change and changing people's worlds one day at a time. As always, if you have any comments or questions about anything I've said, please feel free to reach out. I encourage you to continue to read the story of Joseph. I know there's some key details I left out about his story that are actually really cool that I want you to, or would be cool for you to read. So continue to read to the end of Genesis to find out more about him. But if you have any comments, questions, reach out through social media. You can email me at mosaiccampuschurch@gmail.com. Hope you have an awesome week. As always, we're always here if you need anything, prayer, a chat, whatever that is. We are here for you, and we love you, Mosaic. Have a great week.